I'm live. Hello, everyone. Glad to have you here. As is, I appreciate anyone who got here on time. But we're also going to leave a few minutes, for folks who are running a little late. Welcome to have you. Glad for you to show up. I'm Sam, Director of Sales here. Do a lot of success as well. Super excited about reporting. Excited to show you what we got. So yeah, we'll probably get started at about I don't know what your time zone is. Let's say 35 past the hour. So another about 4 minutes. Until then, I'm going to put up a question in the thing, which is what important metrics are you tracking in your program now? And a follow-up, what would you want to track that you currently are not tracking? Oh, it's a good question. It's the kinds of questions we want to go over today. So you could say that there. Ooh, live answer. What is this? Oh, nice. So we have questions. So we're here, 9:31. We got a few more minutes. So we'll let the few more minutes go on. Think about that question. That's a lot of stuff we're going to go over is generally, a lot of this is going to be custom about like, what is it you want? What is it you track? What does your program need? So part of that is starting off and seeing like, what does your program need? Like, what metrics would you want to have? I know for years I was just shoved into whatever I had. And so I just went with those metrics. And now it's just like, if I can actually do whatever I want, if I can actually get whatever I want, what I actually want to track. And, it's a pretty cool idea. So here we go. Like I said, give it a few more minutes. We'll get started. I'll actually just put this in the chat. Everyone, we will get started in a few minutes. Let's say 3 minutes. There we go. We'll get started in 3 minutes. Woo-hoo. All right, John. Well, in which case, I'm going to grab my cup of coffee from the coffee machine over there and get ready to go. I mean, who knows if we'd eat more caffeine? Always a good question. Got to maintain, though. So I'm going to go get that, and then I will return in 1 second. So I will see you all very shortly. Boo-boo-boo. All right. I want to respect people's time. So we shall get started now. Give you a few minutes. Also, we're recording this. I will say, getting stuff out during election season, always a little tough because people are busy doing the work. So I know we're going to record this. We're sending this out to, everybody who registered. We could say register and get the recording. So that's what we're doing. So welcome everybody who's meeting us. Time difference. Also, look at this. This blur here. I look very, I don't know, angelic. I don't know what it is, but we'll go to the slides. So we don't have to watch my weird blur the whole time. But glad to have everyone. I'm Sam. I'm Sam Briggs. I'm Director of Sales here at CallHub. We are an awesome platform. I'm going to talk more about us, what we're doing. Today, we're going to talk about, we have released new reporting, both live and in depth. I just want to show it to you so you can get using it now. I'm super excited. It's really outcome-based, and I think can really make things actually, have better results, especially if you're working election over the next 3 weeks. You need to have those results, or 2 weeks. You need to have the results you're going to need. And then for everyone else too, really, so that you don't just have reporting's great, but also sometimes it can be noise, just like a lot of stuff. And I think really what we're doing here is being able to push you to, the things that matter to you, to get you the outcomes you want, to get better results on the ground, to write the stuff that we care about. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to share my screen. What I will say is, as always, there is a, as always, there will be, you can ask questions in the chat. There's a question section. There's also just a chat section. Feel free to use those. I know what I do, which is talk fast and talk loud and, use a lot of acronyms and things. So if we are doing that, feel free to, put in the chat. Let me know. I'm here. I want to make things easy for you. Okay, so here we are. We started with here. This is the question I also put in the questions. What metrics do you use daily for your campaign health? What do you wish you could track, but you can't track now? These are the things. Let me see. Can I actually make this a little bit bigger? No, I cannot. Okay, well, here we are. I think it'll be fun. Also, we'll send you the deck afterwards too if you want to see things a little bit more zoomed in. So, CallHub. This is me. Those are my beautiful, wonderful children. And then me as a child on the right. I come out of this from politics side, right? I'm super excited about this reporting because I care about outcomes, right? I ran advocacy. I ran campaigns. I did stuff in the field, right? I didn't come into this. It's like, ooh, I want to start a software company. Like, here we are. It's 2024, but that wasn't it, right? It was really coming in because I want to save the world, right? I want to save lives. I want to make people's lives better. And that's why we work with you, all of you as our clients. We're values aligned. You want to do the same things. That's why we're here. So super excited to work with you. Super excited to show you what we got. And, just as an operator, I just gave myself goosebumps. Well, I can't probably see it. But as an operator, like this stuff really, really exciting to me. So I hope it is to you too. What sets CallHub apart? So we are, just in case you haven't heard of us before, and I think most people here are already customers, but if you haven't, what sets us apart is that we have all the tools. So we are an all-in-one platform. And here you can see all the things we have. We have all the different texting types: outbound, inbound, MMS, SMS, 10DLC, unregistered, short code, toll free. We have all the calling, fast and slow, robocalls, but don't call them robocalls. Dirty word. Voice broadcast. Relational, organizing, right? All the different things. And then we have ways to tie it all together. We have workflows. We have automations. We have a whole bunch of things. So you can, send a text message, wait 2 days, see if they haven't responded, see if they haven't clicked the link, send a follow-up automatically. Or somebody clicks a link to donate and they don't donate in 10 minutes, send a follow-up automatically to them. They're saying, hey, what happened? A bunch of stuff like there where you can really make your channels work together and really get to the best outcome, right? You don't just need it. It doesn't matter about how many calls you make if you don't connect to anybody, right? So that's really what we focus on. And I think what sets us apart as a platform. And then you can see a little just more about us. We've been around for a while, got a lot of customers. We've done a lot of stuff. And like I said earlier, we are values aligned. So we care about what you do. We want to be your partner more than just your platform. People like us. And now let's get to the thing, the new reporting. Woo-woo. Okay, so here we go. So we asked this at the very beginning, but what metrics use for campaign health? What do you wish you tracked that you can't now? But I think there is a lot of things that we have, been forced to use as sort of analogs for campaign health because it's the only things we've been given. Things like total dials, things like total contacts, right? These are good, but they don't necessarily tell you the efficiency of every agent. They don't tell you what you're missing out on, opportunity costs, right? All of these things, because it is pretty raw and rough numbers. And that has kind of been the case, I've been calling, systematically since 08, 07. And it's always just kind of been the case. You're trying to figure it out. That's why I'm so excited about what we have here. So this is what we have. And it is going to be, this is just an upward page. I'm going to zoom in on it. But now when you click on the reports on the left, you get a whole slew of options, both our classic, our live, and the new pro, all here. All things are going to help you get deeper into your program. So let's talk about it. So first we have live reporting. So live reporting is live. I mean, that's what it is. You're going to get real-time stats on your agents and campaigns. This is refreshes every 10 seconds. It is for the last 10 minutes. And this will really allow you to drill down right into your agents. And you can do this on the top by sub account, by campaign name, by agent, right? And look at individual people. This is really your health over your last 10 minutes. And this is your quick snapshot of like what's happening now. We have people on super long calls right now, right? What's going on in this moment? We have a bunch of stats. Oh, I don't think I put it in there. Oh, I did put it over here. Okay, I'll get into this. So we have more stats, and I'm going to show you them as we get into it in the future. We also have Analytics Pro. This is the second half, right? We have two kind of halves of this. One is the live reporting, a bunch of stats, a bunch of really quick things you're going to get. Not so customizable because it is really fast, but a lot of things you're going to need. And then the other side is this Analytics Pro. We can run queries. We basically have a SQL mirror. SQL just being like a type of data table, mirror of your whole calling database. And now we can run questions about that. And I'll show you, we have a visual question editor where you can make your own questions. If you like SQL, we can do SQL queries as well. But just basically you have their whole thing now. So now we can make one view to rule them all, right? One page that just shows you everything you want, everything you need, everything you're going to use that day without having to switch between a bunch of different reports, without having to go over here to check this and over here to check that, without having to do any math on your side to try to figure out, what is important and what rates are. You just have that all done, all for you, saving you a bunch of time and getting you better outcomes in the end. So Analytics Pro, this is the secret sauce, the sweet spot we're going to talk about today. We can talk about the beginning. What metrics do you track? Well, there's pretty much endless use cases, endless things you could track. Stuff that I think is fun that maybe we haven't always been tracking are contact rate and cost per agent hour, right? Win per hour, not like per their hour, but per hour of the day. Like, are we using the right people at the right time of day? Are you being most effective in your calls, right? Our morning calls, better contact rate, lower cost, evening, et cetera. Really being able to dig deeper there to see like, are your shifts? I've always just done 5 to 7. Is that right for every universe? I don't know, but now we can actually get in and try to make sure that we are doing the right thing in the right universe. Your cost per hour of dialing, right? What's it costing you to do this? What should you change times? Can you get more effectiveness? If you have a big distributed program, what's the best zip codes and states calling out of to into? Like, should people from Illinois call Georgia, or people from Alabama should call Georgia? I don't know the answer there, accent wise, but being able to see that and put some stats behind that. Contact rates per retries. Where should you drop off? Where should you stop calling, right? How many retries is too many retries? And how do you have the stats to back that up? Deep agent stuff. We always talk about coaching and making sure agents are good, but now you will have really super deep information to be able to make sure that's true. Stuff like average wrap time, right? How long are they waiting after a call to click next and go into the next call? That's where a lot of people just hang out. If you can cut down on wrap time, outcomes go up, drastically. Conversation funnels, where people dropping off the script. Right now we have contact information. You could maybe do this if you went through and pulled your own tables and did some stuff. No longer do you have to worry about doing that. You can just look at the dashboard in the tool and see exactly where people are falling off. Maybe you need to move your most important question up higher in the script. Maybe you need to change the spot where they're dropping off, right? Because something there is pushing them off. But giving you that kind of information to really be able to dig in and see what's happening here. So 4 steps. This is the easiest part of all this. So you want this new reporting, you contact support or your success manager or anybody you want on the staff over here. We'll add it on. You can edit the reports if you want to. And then that's it. Step 3, profit. Although I don't say profit because, advocacy is all the time. But you just sit back and watch. I mean, it's just going to be that simple. I will say this is one of those things where you can get as deep into it as you want to. If you just want to take the default stuff we give to you, there's a lot of wonderful, great information there that you currently probably don't have access to. That'll give you actionable stuff for your program. Great. If you want to dig even deeper, make a bunch of custom reports and do a bunch of custom stuff and SQL queries, you can do that as well. So really, it's just, a system that can kind of grow with you and across your program as you are getting into it. So you don't have any, you don't know what you're doing. You just want to get what we give you. Absolutely fine. You really know what you're doing. You want to get in and make some really deep queries and do some stuff. Also, absolutely fine. So we're here for you no matter what your level is. So let's actually talk about the different types of reporting we have in the tool. Actually, let me go back and check chat real fast. All right, I got no questions as far as I can see. Okay, we're doing good. So let's keep going then. So different report types. So we have our classic reports, right? We've always had calls, texts, and agents. Normally, in the past, when you click on the icon on the left, they kind of pop out as little icons. You click on individual ones. Now, because we have so many reports, we have a reporting page. So when you go to the reporting page, you will see at the very top, these classic reports. No change here. They're exactly as they were before. They're just in a different location. So you can still come here and get them. And remember, these are going to be the reports that have one per unit, right? So this calls report is 1 line per call. The text report is 1 line per text. It's going to have your text message content, your links to your MMSs, whatever it is, right? But this is line by line, text by text, call by call. When you pull campaign reports off of campaigns, those are people-based, right? 1 line per contact. So these kind of, 1 text, 1 call per line reports still exist, are still here on the report. So don't worry, they haven't gone anywhere. Although I'll say, with the new reports, you have a little bit less use cases here to use these ones, because I think we can kind of get you that information a little more real time, a little more actionable using the new dashboard. So they're still here, but you might use them a little less in the new world. And then we have our live reports. This is what we were just talking about. So next section down the page is live reporting. We're going to have both agents and campaigns. So the agent report is here. And then what do we have on agent report is, and all of these things, I'll say, we could make them, abbreviations, just fit more stuff on the page. When you highlight over any of the headers, it's going to pop up a tooltip and tell you exactly what it is. I just took, I popped up these tooltips and took screenshots of them in order to put it into the screenshot, but you can also see that right on the page itself. So what do we got? We got time on the status. What status are they in? Are they on a call? Are they, between calls, wrap up, waiting, whatever it is? How long have they been on that status? How many calls have been connected to them? What is their average wait time? What's their average talk time? What's their average wrap time? So the time between clicking end to call or the person hanging up and then clicking save and moving on to the next call. And what was their last wrap time? All of this will be over the last 10 minutes, right? So you'll be able to get in and see, like, over the last 10 minutes, what's our health at? How have we done? What are we doing here? And be able to see that, in a very real-time sort of way. Then we also have the same thing for campaigns. You can, again, break these reports down by sub-accounts, by campaign name. You can break the agent report down by agent. So you can really just have, and this, I think, common refrain here, just get down to the stuff that is usable and actionable to you, right? So that you can make your life easier. Just look at the stuff you need, glance at it, see things are good, and move on without having to do a bunch of extra work, right? Your time is valuable, especially now. And so I want to make sure to give more of that back to you. And I think that's what we can do here. So campaign reports, stuff we have, agents online, how many agents you have logged in, how many people are on calls, how many total dials, total connections to agents, your connection rate, and your average wait time. Moving out to the right, your burn rate. How many calls have you made in the past 10 minutes and how long would it take? I mean, how many calls an hour are you burning through calls? So you can have an idea of how long your list will last. Your number of total calls dropped, your drop rate, your number of logouts. This is how many sessions you've had for your agents, your average talk time, average wrap time. Right. So you can come here and see these stats, see if any of them are super out of whack, an outlier, be able to see what's going on live. This all, like I said, updates within a 10-second window, and we'll have all your information. So that's your live reporting. Super nice, super neat, and it is going to be all your places in one thing. A lot of this stuff did exist. Not a lot of it. Some of this stuff did exist on the campaign reports, the agent reports before, but you had to switch between campaigns, right? Click between a bunch of them in order to see it. Now, just go to your one page, see all your campaigns in one spot, all the stats, actionable stats you're going to need without having to click between. So just that alone, hopefully, make your life better and easier. And then we have other reports. So now we're getting into Analytics Pro part and other report types we have there. So we have a standard campaign report. This is going to be Sheets analog, right? It looks like a table. It's just going to be a table. It is a SQL table, right? But this is going to be here. You're going to have questions like number of times agent joins, number of dials, human answered calls, machine answered calls, inbound calls, agent times, right? Your top level stats, again, across all your campaigns and all here in reports. Nice things, you can edit these, you can get down to certain, you can filter them down to different sub-accounts, to different dates, to different agents, all the things you can do. But here, a lot more information, including survey question information. Your agent report, basically the same thing, just at the agent level, and we'll get a lot more of their talk times and wrap times and all this stuff. It's similar to the agent report we currently have now, but you're going to get a lot more breakdowns and as we said, it's editable. So you can actually add more columns, more information, more stuff that you need for your own stats that you track for these metrics, right? Do you track refusals as a, good or bad metric? People have too many refusals, they might just not be answering calls. Or deceased. If they have too many deceased, maybe they're just using that wrongly or something. There may be, or maybe they're a killer. But you're going to find out what happens. And you will get this column. You can add columns there to track those things as well. So we have our standard report. We also have a lot more information that goes from there. Survey question breakdowns, all your questions, all your answers, all your results, all rolled up, and then also broken down by agents, right? So again, the nice thing here, you can see this stuff across all of your things, right? So you don't have to click in and out of campaigns or go back and pull different reports to be able to see stuff across your whole account. And then this dashboard, which I'm going to dig into next, but this is, I think, the nice thing, right? We can give you tables. You can pull tables now. And I think for, if you've been around a long time, you've been doing a lot of calls, you can look at a table of just disparate agent stats and be like, yep, that's it. This is it. Not everyone is there. And also people miss things, right? I've been doing this a long time and I still miss stats. I still miss things. So, I think getting to here where you can do a visual, where you can put alerts on it, where you can put goal lines, things like that, and really be able to just see it happening can help solve a little bit of that, are you missing something? Is something happening here? And, I'm just a visual learner myself. So I really love a graph. It's key for me. And I'm sure some of you are as well. And so this is, I think one of the things that just make your life a whole lot easier. So let's check them out. So I'm going to go to here, share this tab instead. Yes. So let me go back to Reports and Analytics and I will share my tabs. Okay. So here is Reports and Analytics inside of a campaign. These are the things I was talking about. Actually, let me check back my chat real fast. I look good. This is good. Okay. So here we are. So this is what it looks like in Tool. Right. On the top, these are the classic reports we talked about earlier, calls, texts, and agents. They're all still here. You can still run them. In the middle, these are those live monitoring ones I was talking about. I can click here, takes my live monitoring screen. I have nobody making calls live right now, so nothing's here, but this is the stuff I was telling you about. And then as I was talking about, you can highlight over these. They will show you, right, what they are. You can click on them to sort by this field, right? If I had people here, there's little arrows. It'll tell you if it's going up or down. Yeah, all the agent stuff. So again, this is what I was talking about. And then campaigns as well. So boom, all pretty cool, pretty neat, awesome stuff. And then now let's get into Analytics Pro. So we go down here, we click on View Report, and it's going to open up. Here we go. So Call Center Dashboard. This is the built-in one where I was talking about, we don't have graphs, we don't have, stuff here. I'm actually going to get rid of this filter. I am in a testing account, so I have a lot of just real random calls and campaign names you'll see in here. So, cut me some slack on that side. But you see how information comes up. And as you can see up here, we have a lot of different filters, right? So I could filter by dates. I could filter by account or sub-account, by the different campaigns I have, by my agents, by my individual survey questions, right? That I have used in this campaign as well. So, or that I've used in this account. All of these can be then done. So if I wanted to do, let's say, survey question, how many fishes do you have? Well, that's an interesting question. Let's see. I'm sure we tested it at some point. I could probably bring that information here. Or maybe I didn't actually get any answers on it. But you can do all this stuff here, right? A lot of cool information. We're going to have survey question responses, your answer rate by retry. This is your just regular system answer, your breakdowns between DNCs, human answered, all your different dispositions, a bunch of stats down here, any sort of multi-select answers you may have. So that's campaigns. We also have call details, your individual calls. On this side, we have a call conversion funnel. We have, so we're going to know how many calls were, once it loads, there we go, dialed versus answered versus human answered. We can edit these steps, right? If you want to have calls dialed versus calls answered versus human answered versus the people answer this one question, right? Because that's your actual funnel, that's where you want them to add. We can add that on here, and then you can have that full funnel and just look at this and know what's happening, right? And what your conversions are. Dials, inbound, outbound, dispositions, inbound calls breakdown, right? All this stuff can be highlighted. Nice thing too is I can do something like this and go to see these calls. And now I'm going to be looking at those calls particularly, which I can then summarize, which I can then make graphs off of, which I can then do something on, right? All the questions that had those. So lots of ways you can cut down this information as well. So then let's go to agent performance. Agent information, right? So when were they active? How long were the average sessions or average calls or average costs, average wrap time, right? All this information you can get. We can compare people across teams, across agents, right? It costs a lot of information. So this is all very cool. There's very cool stuff here. Stuff like average session, average wrap time. You know, you could break this down by your different teams. You could break this down by campaigns, dates, right? All the different stuff, when people are active. This is all very good. Also, this is all very small. Like I personally, like things a little wider. So let's say you want to make some edits, right? This is almost what you want, but you actually want to change stuff, which you probably will, right? Because you're going to have needs that are maybe a little bit different, or you're going to want to do a little more restrictive or make things bigger. I don't have great eyesight. I'm getting older. I like making things a little bit bigger on screen. So how do we do that? It's very simple. We click over here. I click duplicate. And then I make it mine. Instead of saying duplicate, I get rid of this. And I go to Sam's call center dashboard. It's already saved in my personal collection. I click duplicate. And now, hey, I got another version, but now I can edit it. So one thing I want to do, I want to make it full width. Oh, yeah, there we go. So much better. Oh, I love it. And I can save that. Oh, looks beautiful. But let's say I want to do something different. So I'm taking away this today filter. This answer rate right here, I like it. It's answer rate, how much is the phone picked up, like actually picked up by the number of retries you have. First, initial versus one. This looks interesting, right? I get my second one is higher than my first one. Not what I would expect. But also, I'm not sure if machine answer matters as much, right? What do I care about? I care about my human connection rate, right? I want to know how many humans got connected. And if my human connection rate goes down over retries, if my machine rate goes up, well, the human's the one I want to care about, right? That tells me I should stop doing retries. I should move on to a new list, right? I should try a different time of day or maybe another channel, right? Lots of different ways to go about it, but that's actually what I care about. So I can click on any of these reports, come in here. I can either filter them, I can edit them. For this one, I'm just going to edit it. So what I want to do, I want to see these numbers. So I come over here, little gear, display. If anybody has worked on graphs in Sheets or Excel, kind of similar ideas, but I just click on my data points. I can put a goal line on here. I want my goal to be, say 10% answer rate, 100%, no, 10%. Oh, I have a goal line now. Sweet. This is a pretty good graph. And I'll save it. And ta-da! Now when I go back to my dashboard, hey, updated. I got my numbers, I got my goal line. It's all here. Let's say I actually want to change it to human answer, though. I could even do that, right? Like I said, this is as deep as you want to go. So if you just want to change how things look, right? I also want to say, oh, this one over here, this is too small for me, right? I can't really even see what these answers are. So I can edit it. I can make this box bigger. And now, hey, I can see more stuff, right? I can see more things that are in here. All up to me. Save it. Right? Saving bigger boxes, bigger stuff. So you can make just quick little edits like that if you want to. Or you can do stuff like, hey, I want to change this to be human answer. So I go into my editor. I can go here. I can then delete some stuff. This is all advanced, but I just want to show you it's possible. And now look, now I have my human connection rate per answer instead of my regular connection rate per answer. And the human rate goes down on the first and stays for the second. So I'm assuming this is a power dialing campaign. So every connection is a human connection. But yeah, and then just save it. So you can do that, right? You can, and this stuff that sort of level, right? Getting and actually editing queries may be something that is beyond you. You don't feel super comfortable with. Totally understandable. I did not as well when I got started with this. To be honest, the AIs have helped me with SQL so much. I got to be honest about it. But you may not feel super comfortable about it. That's absolutely fine. Don't let that hold you back from getting the data you want, right? Come talk to me, come talk to us, say hey, this is what I'd really love to track. Is it currently in here? How can I edit something to be in here? Let me know, because these are the things we want to solve for you. We can also, I want to show you some other things while we're in here. So if we go back to my personal collection, I have some other stuff I've done. So those are all the basic formats. Here's something that's customized that I've made for a client. So we have links back to our snapshots.
We have all of our filters on the top, some like informational stuff to help out their people. And then we have this custom report. So we have call start times, number of calls, sessions, costs, all the rates, wrap times, connected times, and then all specific, right, questions for these people. For this one, obviously this is all, testing data on my side, but lots of stuff there. So you can make this as, you want to just add some columns, remove some columns. Sweet. You want to make a whole new dashboard here with your reports on it. Cool. We can do that too, right? Really, it's what you're looking for. To that end, here's something that I really like, and I encourage everybody to do once you have this on, which is, and I can actually just give you this dashboard that I can put into your account if you have Analytics Pro going on. But it says agent red flags to watch. I talked about earlier, what I really, really want with this reporting is to make it easier for you to get to the outcomes you want, right? So you're not just getting a bunch of data, you're not just getting a huge table with a ton of lines and columns, but you're actually, these are the things you want to go towards. I think not only just to make life, you may be able to break down a table and get the stuff out of it, but not everybody can, right? And I really want to make sure that all team leads, all shift leads, everybody who's here has the information they need to do better, especially to make their callers better during coaching. So made this little dashboard, and I think it's helpful. So stuff like short session length. So all of these agents have had an average session length of less than 30 minutes, right? Half a minute, 10 seconds, and the number of sessions. What you'll see here is the people who log out after every call, right? Because they're clicking save and leave instead of save, or people who are just taking a lot of breaks, right? If you have a bunch of paid callers and people are taking extra breaks by logging out, you would see that here. If you just dealt with this, right? Session length, because if people stay in longer, they're going to make more calls, they're going to get better, they're going to be more efficient, but also it increases the speed for everyone else if you're doing predictive. So it's just a better outcomes for them, better outcomes for your campaign, better outcomes for everybody if they have a longer session length. Now you can just look here. We could just do this by yesterday, today. I didn't actually have anybody calling yesterday, so jump up with 0. But you can do a date filter here to just see the people yesterday, right, who had short sessions. And then deal with those. If you just dealt with this kind of stuff, even I'm saying content agnostic, right? Not even knowing what's in your script, not even knowing what you're asking for. If you just dealt with things like short sessions, long calls, etc., long wrap-up times, you will see material advantage. Your outcomes will get better, your results will get better. You will see better metrics without even dealing with the actual content of the call, right? Without actually dealing with the actual messages itself. If you just deal with these kind of things, you will see better. So short agent sessions. Human calls over 2 minutes. Human calls under 20 seconds. Opt-out rates over 5%. These ones, which nice thing about these graphs is that they only show up when there's stuff in them. So I have another one for high average wrap time, right? With people wrap time of over 30 seconds will pop up here. Or over 20 refused in a day. Or over 3 deceased in a day, right? I made it. Again, these are numbers that I just used, for the client who wanted these to make. And so we use these numbers, but these also can be editable to you. Maybe your calls should be longer than 2 minutes, and that's actually a short time for you. Or, your opt-out rate is pretty high because you're just calling a really tough universe or something. So maybe that isn't a stat you need, but we can edit it to make it to the stats that you would actually need, right? And I think that's the juice here. That's the most exciting part. I just gave myself goosebumps again. I'm such a nerd. The most exciting part of this data stuff is that for me, right? Is to be able to take something that is just normally just a big table like this, right? It's something where you just have a lot of information. Again, look, conditional formatting too, by the way. We can make things, you can decide where things turn red and turn green, just like a sheet or anything else. But, not just giving you that table, and yes, we'll give you that, give you all the information, but also the next step, right? Which is like what in here is actionable, what in here is outcome-based, what in here can we change to actually make things better? And that's what we can get you here. So, yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of data here, which is why I want to take you down to the actionable things here. And then, stuff like this you can set these to auto refresh, right? The database updates are 15 minutes. So you can set this to update with the database. So you're only, you're not pulling reports too often. And yeah, I think that's it. So let me check. Do I got a question? Do I chat? I do not. All right. So let's go back to the slides, and we'll end with some tips and tricks and things to remember. So share this tab. Although it's gonna get small again. Oh, whoa! It stayed big this time. Hey, I figured out the secret, y'all. Get out of it. Come back to it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Next time we know this. We know how to do this one. So things to remember. Consolidation. Right? You want to get most of your metrics into one page. I think this is where you will see the most, effect for you. Also, where you're going to get the most buy-in from staff or from team leads or from shift people is if you can say like, hey, instead of clicking between these 3 pages, instead of going to here, you can go to this one dashboard and just sit here and look at this and know what's going on. That's super valuable, right? I think you'll get a lot of buy-in that way. So try to think about consolidation. How can you get things into one spot? And then outcomes. As I was just saying, don't track all the data if you just want something specific, right? So do we care about wrap time? Let's just show people who have a high wrap time. That's what those red alert agent boards are about. Getting you there, and maybe it's not those stats, it's something different. Somebody who has 100% of one disposition or 100% of one survey question, usually a pretty good red flag, or maybe it could be something there. But those are the kind of stuff where I don't particularly know. You're the experts. You're the ones on the ground. But we can definitely work with you to put those kind of alerts in there. So, think about what it is that you want. A lot of times we have been forced into just providing everything. I say we as just like organizers, operators, not we as CallHub, but we as organizers have been like forced to just work with what we got, right? And just kind of make things happen. But in a world where you don't have to work with what you got and you can just get what you want, what is it you'd actually want? So think about that, which is kind of a tough question, but it is something to go through. Also, relationship-wise, it's a tough question. I feel like it's a life question. It's about therapists that ask me. I don't know. Okay, tooltip. So all of these things you saw in the live report, if you highlight over something, it's going to pop up and give more information. In all the Analytics Pro, all those little dashlets have little eyes in the top right corner. As two, if you highlight over them, it's going to give you a definition of everything that went into there. What stats went into it? What can you use it for? What do you recommend? And so, they have little paragraphs for all of them. Lead in that, look at that, definitely it's useful. I've learned some stuff. Look at some tooltips for some of these dashboards. Next, it's a window, right? So you're just running queries against the database. You're looking up things. You're finding stats. You're not changing anything. So you don't have to worry so much. Like, if you want to try to make your own question, try to make your own queries, do some stuff, go for it. Because you're not necessarily going to break anything because it's just a window looking at it, right? If I open or close a window, it doesn't change what's outside. If I open or close a window, it doesn't change what's inside. It's just, can I see it or not? And that's what a lot of this is. It's just, can you see it? So, it's powerful. There's a lot you can do here, but you are somewhat limited in your ability to, destroy everything. So feel free, get in, mess around with it a little bit. I just want to give you, a heads up that it is, we do want you to actually test it. We do want you to try out things. I think part of this too is that we're going to learn from you. You are the person on the ground. You're doing the stuff. You're going to know much better about what metrics matter to you and what metrics are like, what things are bubbling up that you should be tracking or not now, much more than I will here. So, please get in, mess with it, talk to us, experiment. And then that's the next one. There's a lot of opportunity, but your time is limited and there's a lot. So if you really want something, you just don't have time to do it, ask. We may have it. We may have something to make for you. We may have made it for somebody else already. We want you to have good outcomes. We want you to be successful in what you do. And so part of that is, providing the things that help you get there. So please ask. Don't just sit around and say, oh, I wish I could. Let us know because maybe you can. And then same thing. You want a different tracker. You want a different metric. You can't figure out how to make a metric. Maybe we can make it in there with some math or something. Just talk to us. I think this is a growing program. We have just launched it. There is a lot of opportunity here. So, let us know what would be useful to you so we can build to that. We can help you there. We can make it for it. And then lastly, use question name. So you might have noticed, if you have a keen eye, in a lot of those survey question reports I pulled or something, you will see question name Q2357 or something. So basically every question in the tool has a question just as question name, an identifier, an ID for us to track it in the databases. What we've done recently is open that up to you so you can edit it, you can do it, you can use it. So if you go to your settings call center, you can turn on question name. You see it there on the left side. And then when you go to a survey question or something inside of your script, you will see question name as an option. It's super nice. You can consolidate across campaigns, right? So you could have reporting that just says, what is the answer to color choice question? And it would be across all your campaigns, right? Because the question name could be the same across all of them. So use it for roll-ups, use it for just regular tracking. When you go to your results panels and stuff, you will see by question name at that point. And the difference is you either do question name or full text of question. Full text of question can get really intimidating pretty fast, or just long, or just be confusing because they all kind of start the same. Hey, first name, something, something. So question name should make things easier to identify, easier to find, and also easier for your Analytics Pro stuff on being able to consolidate stuff down together and really do some nice roll-ups across your campaign. And then lastly, so that's one side. Those are two sides of reporting: live reporting and Analytics Pro. Those are awesome, but those are also about the outskirts of a call, right? So my next question is, how do we know if a caller is good? Like, how do we know if a caller is good? And I would say you listen to them. But what if they're distributed? I'm from a certain age, so I used to just walk around my phone banks, right, and listen to people. But you can't do that much anymore. It's distributed callers. So what do you do about them? Or how do we even know? Let's even get farther. How do we even know we're asking the right questions? I've written lots of scripts where I just did, well, if it's GeoTV plans, it's easy. But the rest of the time, how do you know you're asking the right questions? How do you know you're pushing the right stuff? How do you know if you're, working the right messaging? These are all good questions, and there's stuff that has been pretty hard. And I've thought of a different, many over the years. I've probably managed 1 billion calls, and I have done different hacks and different stuff to try to figure this out. But now no longer. So my last thing before I leave here is CallHub exclusive, our insights and transcripts. So basically, if you turn on recording in the tool, which a lot of states are one-party states. If you're in a two-party state, we have great strategies for you as well. But you turn on recording, and then boom, we're now going to give you sentiment for every call based on a goal that you put in there. So do you want your goal to be find supporters? Sweet. When all your green calls will be supporters, all your red calls will not be. Do you want your calls just to be positive? Like, I use this for quality control. So my goal statement is have a positive and engaging conversation about the election or about whatever. And then anything that shows up with red is not positive and engaging. So if I want to know where my trolls are, if I want to know who my bad volunteers are, or people need a little more training, I can just come in here and check out my red calls, right? Just pull up these reds after the night before and see what happens. This sentiment's going to come out in your reporting. It's going to be there in your Analytics Pro as well, right? As a field you can work with. And then you can actually get into each contact and see what the summary is. You can download a transcript. You can hear the recording itself. Right. So, yes, there may be some negative calls, but maybe they're negative because you called a voter who had a loss in the family, or there's some bads going on or something. It may not be your caller at all. Right. Your caller could have done amazing, but it was still, a bad sentiment call, a negative call because of what the voter did. So, this allows you to then be able to get in and see what's going on, right, from the transcript and summaries without having to listen to the recording every time, but also just so you can, make sure that it's not your person. You can have. I did Bernie's calls in 2016. As dialer director then, we had 130,000 callers over the course of the campaign. So a lot of callers. I could not tell you how many of those callers were good, right? Because we just have no way to listen to that amount of calls. There's no way to test that many people. So I could tell you the stats were okay for most of them, because if their stats were really wild, we would drop them. But that's about it. Not really that's going on. So something like this for me is just so exciting, so pumped, because now I actually could know, like, I could go put my head on the pillow at the end of the night being like, okay, we did not troll a bunch of people today in our calls, especially when you're running a distributed program where anybody can join up. Well, that's a good reason to, have good quality control. So we can listen to every call. We can give you statements back. This is a game-changing sort of thing. You could also do stuff like, now you have transcripts. So we could download all the transcripts for your best caller and for your worst caller, and then send those, to an AI. One of our, we got progressive AIs now, or just one of the regular LMs, locally hosted, whatever you want. And then say, why is this agent better than this one, right? Agent A gets better outcomes. Agent B does not get better outcomes. What is different? And actually be able to get some stats for that, right? Do they chit chat more? Do they stick to script, or do they not stick to script, right? You could say, here's my script, like, what's going on here? Or when I was talking about earlier, what are you missing? Right. So you could send it in your transcripts and say, hey, here's my script. Here's my survey questions. These are things we're collecting. What else is happening in these conversations that we currently are not tracking? I bet you there's some great stuff there. Right. So once you have access to content, once you have access to transcripts, once you have access to summaries, you can actually do amazing stuff with that, really go into the future. So that's it. This is really, we talk about reporting. The rest of the stuff is great. It's all about what happens around the call. We can also get you reporting on what happens during the call itself. In addition to survey questions and stuff, which obviously was always there. And then last, live call monitoring. So you see the sentiment, you see somebody at the red calls, maybe they're not great, you want to know what's happening. You go to live reporting, they're calling now. Sweet, jump in, listen to their call. It's not good, you can ban them with a click. If it's great, you can send them a message saying it's amazing, whatever it is. But just another step. So you can see everything that happens around the call and metadata, everything happens during the call with your content. And if you want to, you can literally hear live calls to keep digging deeper. So that's about it, my friends. What I'll say is we'll send you some wrap up afterwards here, send you the deck and the recording, have these things available. It's awesome. I know it can be intimidating sometimes. There's so much you can do, but that's why we're here, right? CallHub's your partner. We want to help you out. I mean, I'm your partner. I want to help you out. I love reporting. I love dashboards. I just gave myself goosebumps again. I'm so into this, y'all. I love data. So you tell me what you need. You tell me what we can do to make your lives easier, what you want to track, what can get you better outcomes, right? And I'll either show you how to get there and train you how to do it yourself so you can, learn some skills. You can just do it yourself if you know how to do it, or you can come talk to us and we'll set it up for you, right? I want you to be successful. I want you to do what you do. I want you to win, change the world, save lives, all the stuff you're doing every day. Make money if your business, good business. That's what we're doing. Okay, so you're amazing people. Get hydrated. Make sure you stay hydrated over the next few weeks as we get to election day. If you're not an election day organization, apologies to you for all the text message you will receive over the next 3 weeks from election day organizations. But otherwise, we are here. We're here to help you. Check out the new reporting. If you don't have access to any of these things, hit up your support person, hit up your success person, hit up me, and I would love to help and get you going. And we're continuing to release more products. We just also got out blocking and workflows. So now you can automatically set up people being added to your DNC, add it to incoming blocking when they're hostile, make sure your agents have a better time protecting people. Just great. We're great. We're releasing stuff all the time. So we'll probably do a webinar on that next. But whatever you need, reach out. We're here for you. And that's about it. I've hit my 45 minutes, so I shall return to you the balance of your time. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. And let's get reporting and let's get winning elections and doing cool stuff. So talk to y'all later. Boo, 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 boo. Go CallHub. Goodbye, everyone.